Hello, young Swimcast citizens. Space Ghost here, a.k.a. George Lowe, inviting you in for all of the creamy, enjoyable listening goodness. Let's ladle some up right now, shall we?
America, welcome to this exciting edition of the Swimcast. I'm Johnny J. With me is Trish.
Hey everybody, it's that time again.
Yeah, no one likes you. And also from Adult Swim UK, Mr. Gritty Chimp himself, the Gritty Chimp.
Hello.
And our special guest co-host, you know her, you love her. If you don't, shame on you. From Dread Central.
Or like if you don't, I don't care.
Oh, you should care though, because we love you.
I know you do.
No. Miss Cricket Lee.
Yay!
Yay. So it's our year in review Swimcast episode. It is the last possible week ever of 2012.
Well, but we survived the apocalypse. Hello.
I tell you, yeah. I do tell you one thing though. We have a term here in Adult Swim Central, which we highly appreciate and call.
It is the best feature.
2012 was a fantastic year. Don't you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure was.
So, what could we start to talk about 2012?
What about how they put Toonami back on the
on
the network?
Toonami back on.
Toonami is back, bitches.
Yeah,
I see they're playing Inuyasha, but it's not until like 3 a.m., so I can't stay up and watch it. It just makes me sad.
Please, it's a Saturday.
I don't do late hours these days, John.
You can DVR it, like I do, with the 4 a.m. stuff. Speaking of 4 a.m. stuff, they also had a lot of specials. Not to sidetrack it, but it was a good segue.
They did have a lot of specials.
I did like, I haven't seen the Your Whole one. With my
Those are hilarious. They're really, really funny.
I do have them DVR'd though. I did happen to see the Rob Hubel one. What was that? Swords, knives, and other sharp objects.
Yeah, that one was weird, man. Like I don't know. It just seems like that they kind of give these guys leeway to do whatever they want. There was the greatest moment in television history ever, or whatever.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great because you didn't know what was going to happen. And I grew up watching Simon and Simon, so as soon as I figured out what the hell they were doing, I couldn't stop watching. I mean, that was one of those times where, it's that, because Adult Swim, a lot of their live action stuff has, kind of a subversive edge to it. And Trish, I was actually giving Trish a hard time because she doesn't really watch a lot of live action stuff, and it's like,
I don't like the slapstick.
Yeah, and some of them, it's like there's some shows that are on Adult Swim that I don't like that everybody loves. Like Tim and Eric, I don't get it, but I like Check It Out with Steve Brule.
Oh, yeah.
I like the spinoffs. I love the Eric Andre show, and it's the same guys.
Yeah.
But I don't like Tim and Eric. I just don't like that show, and I don't know why.
I've been preaching this for at least 5 or 6 years. Tim and Eric is definitely an acquired taste. I mean,
and that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
But their live show, they're great, but like trying to watch them, I don't know. I feel like whatever happens in their live show doesn't translate for me onto TV.
It's different. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like different, like not channels, but like frequencies that they run on. Like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's gross, but like the absurdity of it all is just totally out there, which is why it's on Adult Swim. But I agree. I really enjoy. I've enjoyed Check It Out with Dr. Steve Brule. I especially enjoy Eric Andre's show. That one's great.
Yeah, the Eric Andre show, because that one, it's kind of funny because I'm like, oh gosh, should I hate this show? But I can't because they're always like introducing they're like, we got the special guest, and half the time it's not that person, but then every now and then it really is that person. Like Ryan Phillippe was on the show. Dolph Lundgren was on the show. That was a weird one, but he had
Kristanna Loken.
Yeah, Kristanna Loken. But like Dolph Lundgren was like, whatever, I don't care. He's like, he just fucking played along. But then they're like, oh yeah, it was a Jack Nicholson. It was like a Jack Nicholson lookalike, or it's like a hobo.
Yeah.
Or
the
furthest
one, Russell Brand.
The Russell Brand, who's supposed to be making an appearance on the New Year's show.
Oh.
And I love Hannibal Buress. I just love how, I don't know, just something about that show just kind of clicks. Yeah. And I think it might have also been the whole time they were in production for that first season, Daniel Wiedenfield on his Instagram was sharing a bunch of pictures from the set as they were going. So it was giving more of an idea of what was going to happen.
And it is also cool that Dan is putting Hannibal on the new season of China, Illinois, for those who didn't see my interview with him at Comic-Con.
China, Illinois, that's another show that you're just like, I don't know. But then like when you see it, you're like, yay.
Well, I've been a fan of Brad Neely's stuff since like probably 2008. I just love Baby Cakes and the Professor Brothers. And when I heard China, Illinois was being made into a show, I think I pissed myself. Like, I was so happy. But, back to the Eric Andre show, I don't like how he tears up the set every time because it's way too Tim and Eric for me. And the vomiting and stuff. But I really like when he goes out on the streets and trolls people. Like,
that's the ones where he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Seriously, dude, I don't want to get arrested.
Like when he's sitting there at the bus stop and it's like, he's like, it's hold somebody's hand day. And he like holds the old lady's hand.
That was freaking creepy. That was just like, she's just looking at him like, oh, who are you? Hi, how you doing?
And plus it's all in LA. So that's why nobody really gives a second glance to Wayne, because Los Angeles, we're always, I mean, like, I used to work in the financial district. And I'd stand in front of the LA City Library to cross to get to my job. And my building was one of the ones that you see in the famous LA skyline. And there was one incident, actually, this is actually true. I was standing there waiting to cross the street to go to my building. This old show, Eli Stone, was filming on one section of the library. And there was a homeless guy standing behind me screaming about how he was a goddamn Marine. And was getting very like aggro, and I didn't even turn around to look at any of it, and I just crossed the street and kept going. Like like LA and New York are the same. You just start tuning people out. So that's why I love that Eric does this stuff, because half the time the people that he does catch, you can tell probably aren't from here.
Yeah, probably like tourists and stuff like that.
Like I love when he goes into the stores and he like fucks with people in stores and stuff.
I don't know if it was on here or maybe just someone I was chatting with, but my favorite one is when he goes to Mensa in the suit of armor.
Yes.
And they keep kicking him out?
Yeah, he goes to Mensa and they kick him out. And then he goes to the after party and they kick him out of that too.
Yeah, that show is...
My first question is, why does Mensa have an after party?
Man,
well, so all the big brain jerk-offs can go and give each other hand jobs because they're so great and important because they're fucking Mensa and their IQs are all above 140. That makes them amazing.
Okay, good point.
And you gotta think the hand jobs must be really good because they're not getting laid. They're all just sitting at home masturbating constantly, so they know what they're doing. And they're geniuses, so of course they found out the best possible way to masturbate and give a hand job.
Right. With the death clock gloves.
Yes, exactly.
What was the other show that I don't know. For me, I was a little uncomfortable with Adult Swim this year, just because it seemed like that they were concentrating more on the live action than animated.
It did, but at the same time, I mean, we had the return of, I guess what now is called Aqua something, whatever.
Right.
We had Squidbillies, which kind of like just was there. I enjoyed the new season, but it was kind of like, okay, new Squidbillies. And Super Gel came back with a vengeance. That I really liked.
Yeah, Squidbillies, man, I don't know. Like that's one of those shows that I kind of give a pass on. Like I'll watch it every now and then, but that show just, I don't know, has never done it for me at all. I still watch it, but most of the time it's like, oh, what is this? 1:00? Oh, Squidbillies. Change the channel. But what was that other show that came out on Adult Swim? I like cheese. I like cheese. What the hell? Loiter Squad.
Loiter Squad. Yeah, I still have that as a ringtone for some reason.
Yeah, another Tim and Eric / Dick. Isn't Dick House one of the production guys? And that Dick House.
Yeah.
Yep, Jackass.
Exactly.
But
that one started off nice, and it was pretty good. And then as the season progressed, I was like, this is just black dudes doing Jackass.
Yeah, I'm behind the times a little bit because I remember, I think it was MTV Movie Awards or something. They were bringing out Tyler, the Creator, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? And then I had to figure it out through Adult Swim, and I still didn't have any clue who this kid was. And then when they resurrected Punk'd, he was one of the hosts, like one of the guest hosts. And then it's like, yeah, he was from Jackass and this and that. Yeah, because remember they resurrected Punk'd. But instead of Ashton hosting, it was like every week they had a different actor. Like one week it was like Panettiere, and then Tyler, the Creator, was one of them. But Tyler, there was some stuff that went on Loiter Squad that I really wasn't a fan of. Nothing like controversial, but it was just like, I'm not a big fan of regurgitation either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my one weakness is watching regurgitation. I mean, whether it's Tim and Eric, whether it's Eric Andre.
Do you watch a lot of Tosh.0?
I don't.
Not usually. Once in a while, I'll tune in.
You say it's your weakness, like you like it?
No, I say it's my weakness, like I won't watch it.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, because when you say weakness, that makes us think, oh, you can't help but watch it.
Well, I'm sorry. It's like it's brain dead season for me.
I just think that any show, I don't know, man, I just have a big problem with any show or movie using, puke and shit jokes, because it just seems like, even in Bridesmaids, it just seems like a cop-out.
Yeah. So, yeah, Loiter Squad is kind of like the same stuff, like you said, like that kind of like vomiting and pooping kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just gets old after a while, but there's one thing that they did on Loiter Squad that I don't know why it cracked me up so much. It was the one where did you watch all the? Oh, you have a DVR, right? So there's one episode where one of the kids is on a giant slice of bread and gets doused in jelly, and he's just like, jelly.
Oh yeah.
Jelly.
Yeah, when
I love jelly. Yeah, I love jelly. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it made me laugh pretty good. But I just hope that 2013 will maybe see the last season of the Boondocks. Maybe.
Well, that's what they said last season. Was that the last season of the Boondocks was going to be the last season? So, will there be another season next year? Will it be the quote-unquote last season? I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I Black Dynamite.
Yeah, I was going to say Black Dynamite just got greenlit for a second season, so yay!
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 And, for those at home who don't know, the same people who work on Black Dynamite work on the Boondocks, so.
Yeah, well, there's Carl Jones and all them lot.
But not Aaron Magruder.
Right. Aaron Magruder does not work on Black Dynamite, unfortunately.
Yeah, Black Dynamite has more of an Afro Samurai look to it than a Boondocks look.
Mm.
I actually, I wish they would just make an Afro Samurai show straight out. Like, I would watch a 30-minute episode of that. I'd watch a 30-minute episode. Maybe I'm one of the only people that actually even played the video game. I don't know. There was just something about Afro Samurai. Like Trish has with her live action stuff. I'm kind of like that with anime. Like, I'm really kind of picky. And so Saturday nights on Adult Swim, I usually kind of give a pass. I'm just like, oh, it's anime. But I'm really glad that it's there.
Right.
I don't care for it. I'm glad it's there because it gives that other option and anime is a huge industry. I interviewed the woman who does the voice of Naruto, and she was, she's been Naruto since the beginning, and she was telling me that at Anime Expo last year they had a Naruto like photo session at the LA Convention Center, and there was like 50 people dressed in like all these different versions of Naruto, and she just kind of sat back and watched the whole thing. But if anime actually kind of made its way into the Adult Swim schedule, I don't know how I would deal with that, because to me, I always consider the Boondocks anime. I consider it urban anime. So I'm like, we don't need anything else. And even Black Dynamite I consider urban anime as well, as far as the animation style goes.
Yeah, that kind of brings us back to what we were talking about at the beginning about Toonami coming back. It was pretty awesome and unexpected. I mean, who would have thought out of a simple April Fool's prank that they'd say, hey, let's bring Toonami back on, since people are clamoring for it. And, from there it turned into, now they went from like a 4-hour block on Saturday nights to like, I think they have like a 6-hour block plus the stuff at night. And I mean, I could go on forever about Toonami and all the shows that they have, but I mean, there's another podcast out there, ToonamiFaithful.com. Props to them. I wish they were here for our Swimmy Awards show later, but, they'll be with us in spirit, I guess.
Well, as far as Adult Swim goes, do you ever predict that there might not be coming back? I mean, something's got to have outlived its usefulness by now.
I think if anything at this point, I mean, with them bringing back Toonami, with them kind of, I don't want to say hopelessly bringing back Cartoon Planet, because I feel like when they brought back Cartoon Planet, it was like, okay, we have Zorak, we have Brack, and that's all the money we have. We can't get George Lowe to do Space Ghost, so we'll just do this and have all the old Cartoon Network cartoons on there. I feel like it really doesn't have the same appeal as the original, so maybe, I don't know what their numbers are doing as compared to like Toonami's numbers, because I know Toonami is doing pretty good, and the better they do, the more stuff they can afford. But I mean, maybe they either cut their losses with Cartoon Planet, or if they're making more money, maybe bring in George Lowe and or bring back Space Ghost.
Is George Lowe in poor health?
No, I saw.
They just can't afford him.
They. Trish, what is it that George always says BMWs don't drive themselves?
Yeah. But I mean, what else is he doing with his time?
Well, he doesn't
really have to do anything.
He does those commercials for The League.
The League?
Yeah, on FX.
Yeah. The League. I love The League. The League's a great show.
I have to watch that, if only for Paul Scheer. it looks like a really funny show.
It is. It's great. And you don't have to play fantasy football to find it funny, which is great, because I don't play fantasy football at all.
That's good.
But I would almost take. I kind of wish, because you know how AS had done. They started the DVR theater where that's how they kind of were bringing back some shows, and I wish that they would kind of be more consistent with DVR theater. Because I would love for them to bring back the Brack show again and see Lab 2020 and 2021.
Well, I think 2020 airs occasionally on Boomerang, but then again, who has that?
Yeah, well, Boomerang's like a premium now. It used to be part of a package, but now it's like you got to pay extra for it. And I'm like,
It's I know on DirecTV it's like the Choice Extra packet, so you pay for that, you pay for the hub, and you pay for like 5 other channels you don't watch.
On Time Warner, hub's included, but Boomerang is not. It's called Boom on the thing, but Boom. It's great if you're really into Hanna-Barbera, because that's where you get your old Huckleberry Hound and Droopy and what else did I fucking see on there? Well, the Flintstones, obviously a ton of Flintstone stuff. I actually like Boomerang, but I would give up Cartoon Planet for the Brack show if they decided, if they would just, not even if they made episodes, but just run the ones that they have again.
Right.
Because I'm kind of getting sick of seeing some of these live action shows. They just keep rerunning, and it's the same episodes over and over again. And sometimes they're episodes from like 2 years ago. And it's like, if you're going to do that, then you might as well throw in one of the older ones, or just, do something fun. Was I was hoping for New Year's they were going to run all the old shit again from like the day that they started up until now, and show the first episode show the pilot episode from every show, which I think they did once.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I do remember that happening maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
the other thing. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it.
Oh, I was saying, because now that you got me thinking, with some shows that go from like the first episode to the last episode. I mean, they ran the hell out of Moral Oral, so much so that they actually got a special going on now.
Yeah, and before Oral, I'm actually glad that they did let Dino do that before Oral, because it kind of explained a lot.
Yes, I agree. It was very well done.
And we had one of the storyboard guys from Before Oral on our podcast, and we had asked him stuff about it, and he was telling me that the opening sequence with Stop Frame and Berta was supposed to be way more detailed. Like, they wanted him to go through like the butt, through like penis, and then through his whole thing, and then through the penis, like the sperm going through the penis, and then going through like Blaberta's like cavity going down and like impregnating the sperm. And it was supposed to be like way longer than it was. It's like, his first gig is like doing these storyboards, Stop Frame's butthole type of thing. Yeah. But I would watch more of that too. I kind of do like stop motion more than action. So like Robot Chicken's always good to me,
It's all right, but going back to what we were saying about Lawyer Squad, there's so much you like driving things into the ground with like the poop and the kicking in the nuts, the robot hump, and I mean I've watched some episodes recently, and I thought a couple of them were pretty funny, but otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why it kind of makes me curious to know, like, how come Adult Swim greenlights some things, but they won't greenlight other things? So I question the stuff that they greenlight.
Like, where's Cheyenne Cinnamon?
Exactly. They gave us that awesome fucking episode and then nothing. And I was expecting that to be a full-blown series.
So was I. Adam and I even rigged the votes.
Her husband works for Google.
They had that contest where it was like Cheyenne Cinnamon and a few other pilots, right? And it was like you had to pick the one you wanted. Which one ended up winning?
Yeah, Cheyenne Cinnamon ended up winning, and they put it on television.
But then they didn't do anything else with it. I mean, I recorded the one. I've got it on my DVR, but when I moved here, that DVR is not coming with me, so I'm not going to have it anymore.
Right. And I mean, the only thing they've really done with it is that they put like little teasers in
Squidbillies.
Yeah, they do, don't they? That's true. There was like one of them was watching the video on TV. Or there was something. So I seem to remember seeing that go on when I did watch an episode. But I really like that. So maybe Nico Case.
Yeah.
Nico Case.
Nico Case.
I don't know why that didn't go down, but that would have been fun. The guys from a couple of the guys from Metalocalypse did the whole Grim Fairy Tales, and so I think they're shopping that around too. So that could end on Adult Swim as well.
I would hope so. I mean, we had John Schnepp on at the beginning of the year, and it just sounds so awesome. Fantastic stuff.
Have you had any stuff through yet for that?
No, they haven't. They're getting there. I think it sounds like they're not going to have stuff done until like next month.
I got the digital comics from the donation, but nothing else yet.
Oh, did you get digital comics? I don't think I ever got
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I did the digital comics. I donated enough to have my name in the end credits, but it's like I know these people, so it's like I would be like an asshole if I didn't donate.
Right.
So
I had the money at the right time, and John was so adamant about the Grim bag for $99. So
Oh, is that what you threw in? You got the Grim bag.
Grim bag.
I mean, the cast list is pretty phenomenal.
I know.
Did they make their pilot?
I think they.
I think so. I think they're just fleshing it out now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because we saw some footage of it at Comic-Con, and that was pretty damn good.
Right. They showed a little teaser at Comic-Con in New York.
We saw the actual comic books at Fry's Electronics, of all places.
Really? They're good?
Yeah.
I loved Before Oral. And there was Carolyn Lawrence is just, I mean, she's just hilarious anyway. And she's the voice of Oral. But it wasn't even supposed to be funny, but the one part of the show that made me laugh so hard was when his grandfather said, "Hey, Oral, why don't you something, something, something?" And he goes, "Okay, Grandpa." And I was like, what the fuck? That's so hilarious. But
and also the part where the kids were like, "Oh, if you fall off that antenna, you're not gonna feel pain or anything like that."
Yeah, where they kept, "Oh yeah, you should wear more coats." Wear more coats. But I mean, it's always been like the subversive show that I actually loved it because I have friends that are still pretty big Bible thumpers.
Oh, yeah.
And so they hate this show because they think it insults religious people. And I said, it doesn't insult. It's not taking the piss out of religious people. It's taking the piss out of people who are so big as zealots that they will take everything in the Bible literally. Or you can convince them to do anything, like the way that Censor Doll gets, is it Censor Doll? That gets him to do the whole campaign against eggs.
Oh, yeah, the eggs.
The eggs thing, or it was against chickens, and then it goes to eggs, and she's like, wait a minute, and then she not only convinces him to protest chickens, but then she turns around and gets him to say, protest that eggs are actually good, and then to like overthrow his own father so she could be mayor. And it's just like, to me, it's not insulting religion. It's insulting how far people will go, and how much. And
another point that kind of goes along with that is when we interviewed Dino, he said he gets a lot of the same question: why don't you have any good Christians on the show? And Dino's answer is, well, what about Oral? Oral is the only good Christian on the show, but he's a good influence, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Oral is the one with good intentions. Everyone else is just follow the Bible because I say so. Everything that he does is with genuinely good intentions, but it shows that with a child that has good intentions at that age, what are they going to grow up to be like? All of a sudden they're blowing up abortion clinics because it's good intent, with the best of intentions type of a thing. And I wish that the show had gotten more play, but I think after a couple seasons, it just kind of started to lose it. But it was
getting way too dark at that.
It really was, man. And but it was still, because that first season was just hilarious, and then it started getting a little more serious. And you see Blaberta and Clay fighting more, and more weird shit like the whole hunting trip thing. I'm still weirded out by a little bit because it goes out of sequence and then comes back into sequence, and you're trying to figure everything out. And but then I don't know. Dino could do anything, and I'll watch it, like Frankenhole.
Oh. Yeah. Frankenhole was a great show. I hope they greenlight that for a new season, but I'd be even more happy if they just greenlight a bunch of Moral Oral specials. Because keep in mind, this one had a subtitle to it. I think was it Truth? I forgot what exactly it was.
The Before Oral?
Yeah. It was either Truth or Faith or one of them. And ultimately, it sounds like they're going to, I don't know how well the show did. I mean, I bought it on iTunes after getting caught by Dino one night on Facebook telling a friend that he should torrent it because he doesn't have a TV. And you can't get Adult Swim online anymore unless you have satellite or cable.
Say that again?
Used to be where some people would be like, oh, I don't have cable, so I'd direct them to the internet because AdultSwim.com has all their videos there. But now, in order to view, like, I think you can view, like, the older episodes for shows, but, like, if you want first-run shows that just came out, like, the Monday after, you have to actually have a subscription to cable or satellite.
Wow. I did not know that. That's crazy, man. That's not cool.
Yeah, well, I think because they want them to, I think they want people to either have satellite or cable or else buy them on iTunes. And folks, just make sure you don't say the word torrent in front of anyone.
In front of us.
Just say download. It's a lot nicer. It's a lot.
Just say quote unquote
prettier.
legally acquired.
I don't even know
Legally
how to
acquired.
torrent, so I don't give a shit. But they're pretty, yeah. I mean, well, even if you do torrent it, like Time Warner, they're pretty serious about that shit. My roommate torrented a movie, and the next day we had problems with our internet, and she ended up having to call, and they're like, yeah, somebody downloaded a movie, and I think our internet got suspended for a day or something like that. And they were like, well, somebody downloaded a movie. And I was like, well, don't fucking look at me. I pay for all my shit. And it turned out our other roommate did. And they're like, well, they have to delete that from their memory and everything before we can, or delete that from the history. So we had to tell them to get rid of it. And then our cable or our internet was back to normal. Wow. So don't torrent.
Don't steal from Adult Swim, the iTunes now. No more. Oh my God! You can't get it. Torrent.
Also, Adult Swim, man, step it up with your merch booths at Comic-Con.
Oh my God! Is that something else we can talk about right now? Because I'm sure Trish
Absolutely
wants to talk about it right now. There's no more shop. I mean,
There is no more shop. What am I going to do with my life if I can't talk about masturbating with Metalocalypse gloves? Huh? What am I going to do?
oh my God!
I'm just glad I have my Kiddo Man towel, which is currently in the washer and needs to go in the dryer. But I'm
And
glad
your
I have
Aqua
it.
Teen Throw.
And my Aqua Teen Throw, which is so comfortable. It's the only blanket the cat will lay on.
I'm just glad I still have my Master Shake ceramic cup.
Yeah, which I never fucking ordered, and I totally regret it now.
Yeah, but you know what? It took them 3 months to send it to me. I have no idea why. What the rush was on this cup.
Well, but in the meantime, you did get that lovely DVD box set.
Which one?
You know, the one you gave to your aunt.
Oh, that was the other one. That was when I ordered my OSI track jacket, and they sent me the best of Natalie Wood DVD collection.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That was the WTF moment of 2009. I got to tell you.
What'd they send you?
They sent me. I ordered a track jacket with the OSI logo on it from Venture Brothers, and they sent me the Best of Natalie Wood DVD box set.
Ha.
Because at the time, Adult Swim shop was the same warehouse as Warner Brothers shop, and they got me confused with some dude in Missouri. So it was just totally absurd. I've gone through it so many times. I've been like, how do you do this? I mean, you can see my icon on Skype right now. It was pretty much me. It was the Jackie Chan. What the fuck was this?
Yeah, I'm bummed they got rid of the store, man. Like, I mean, even in the last couple of years, the Adult Swim booth at Comic-Con has been less than fun.
You're talking about San Diego. I should.
Yeah, San Diego, not New York.
New York has only had once, and I was really disappointed in that because it was just a merch booth. It wasn't like they didn't have like an area where people were going to sign. Although I think Jackson and Doc signed there one of the days.
Well, they didn't have that at San Diego either, but their booth used to be more fun. Like the first year we covered Comic-Con, we went to with Girl Gamer. I had a list of booths. I'm like, I have to hit these booths without question. And the first one on my list was Adult Swim, and I went on Sunday, on the last day before we went home. And the whole thing was you could either stand in line, and it's the same every year. You can stand in line to stick your hand into what they called the glory hole.
Oh God.
And then they would give you, of course, it was just a hole, and then somebody on the other side would hand you something. And I was like, all right, that's cool. But if you bought merch, you got this ticket, and you got to cut in front of everybody.
What, for the panel?
For the glory hole. The panels are in a whole different section of it. It's because I'm the Adult Swim booth's on the convention show floor. It's like it's usually way in the back. But you got
the first year I went, they were in the front, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, not anymore. They're always in the back.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I ended up buying the Carl nesting doll, which I still have, and I bought that, and I bought something else. Oh, I bought a robot chicken something or other, and
the figure.
No, I can't remember what it was, but it ended up being like because plus if you go on Sunday, they usually start cutting prices down because they don't want to take any of that shit back with them. And so I got a super cool deal. Like I got the Carl nesting doll for like $10, and I got something but I went into the glory hole.
So lucky too, because I got mine for like $30.
Yeah, well, the day after Comic-Con, they were on eBay for $80. So but then it went down like 3 days later. But anyway, so I got to the glory hole and I ended up getting like a transfer, and I think it was a Venture Brothers transfer actually. But then the next year, they kind of did this weird thing with like you go to these holes and you look in. It was almost like a nature observatory, because you look into one hole and it would be like a squirrel on a stripper pole with it was really a bunch of weird shit. And then last year they just, I don't know, they kind of just gave up, and the people that worked there had a shitload of attitude, and it was all Metalocalypse and Venture Brother stuff.
Really?
Which I have no problems with, but I was like, really? I'm like, where's the robot chicken shit? Where's like everything else? It was the majority of it was robot Metalocalypse t-shirts.
Yeah, well, they're doing the tours too, so.
Well,
probably why.
The one at Comic-Con, they did the concert on the Destroyer.
Oh, right.
But I don't know, man. The merch just got worse and worse, so maybe Adult Swim's not even going to have a booth on the show floor next year.
I don't know. Well, one of the years I went 06, 07, 08. 07, they didn't have a booth because my guess is that Turner was one of the sponsors. They had like Game Tap, and I think Cartoon Network was one of the sponsors. And two, that was the year that the Aqua Teen movie came out, and they had the incident in Boston with the bomb.
Right.
So I think they just said, and also, as you're saying, they're usually in the back. Maybe they had an issue with being in the front. Because 2006, my first year, they were in the front, and that was an awesome display.
Right. Yeah, for the last 3 years, they've been towards the back. Actually, at the back.
Yeah. Well, the year they came back in 2006. Was it 2006?
Now, you're talking New York Comic-Con, right?
No,
you're not talking...
No, I'm talking San Diego. I was out there from 06 to 08. And now I don't go out anymore because it's just not enough money and not enough effort and everything else.
Cartoon Network booth, though, was kicking. Like, it was really, really cool. It was huge, and like everybody wanted a fin hat, and you could like there were people dressed like as like Muscle Man. It was really a lot of fun. The Adult Swim booth was just like surly.
Yeah. Maybe they hired people from Dick's Last Resort. I don't know what that is.
The hamburger place?
Yeah, that was the first year they had the Awesome Con, the Tim and Eric thing. Because I guess they figured they weren't going to get a lot of people, so they had it there. And it was just bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I would have bought more stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. Especially my one regret that I didn't buy from Adult Swim. And every time I see Kent wearing his, I get really, really jealous. Is the plain black hoodie that just says Adult Swim in Old English letters.
Yeah, I had my hands on one of those at one point in my life. Dave Willis actually sent us a bunch of stuff, and there was a medium-sized one. And I was like double X at the time, because this was pre-Beatus John Jay. And ended up giving it to a friend of mine. I think he still has it. I think it's still okay, or it's wearing, but... in retrospect, I should have just hung on to it.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Adult Swim merch might. You never know. It could end up showing up on Amazon.
Yeah, I think they sent a lot of their stuff to Amazon, but it's still kind of expensive. It's like eBay prices. The other thing I'm thinking is maybe they'll just bring back an entire shop again. I mean, they've done it twice already.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some of the stuff that they're offering. I'm like, I don't want to pay that much money for.
Exactly. That's what we've been crying on here for ages. Trish can go on forever about, $80 beanbag chairs and.
I can't justify. I mean, like, okay, I spent $15 on toe socks once, but they were like Iniji, so it was like Japanese toe socks that marathon runners wear. I just wanted something durable, but it's like I can't justify spending $20 on a pair of socks just because they have a Moonanite on them.
Exactly.
And sometimes they're shit's ill-fitting, too. So you never know what you're going to get when it shows up at your door. I mean, as far as merch, like clothing goes, like toy stuff, I never worry about it. But clothing-wise, I'm just like, is this even going to fit?
I really do regret not investing in the Carl nesting doll. I have 2 Matryoshka dolls from Russia, and I would have liked to have added him. Well, I only had the one at the time, but
yeah, because the Carl nesting doll. Have you seen it completely broken down?
I think once.
Yeah, the last piece is a little piece of poo.
Oh,
the teeniest thing is a piece of poo.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even on my list of things to buy, but it was just like, hey, that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna get it. And I wish I would have bought a couple more, because even the packaging is really cute.
Yeah.
But we need a more, like, I don't know, I know what Adult Swim's trying to do, but I wish they would be more.
Like back in the. I'm sorry.
No, that was the end of my sentence.
I just wish they'd go back to the olden days of Adult Swim shop where they'd sell like stuff they found in like the antique shop or the local pawn shop. It was like, buy this giant hunk of wood for $25. I forget what else they had. I mean, and they had good prices on that version of the shop too. I mean, I remember getting the Venture Brothers 2-way wristwatch for like $20 or so. And I still have it, even if it's worse for wear, but I don't know.
I mean, I would just love it if there was, I mean, and it would never happen, but, with the show merchandise, if there was like 4 or 5 really good pieces of merchandise for each show.
Right. And not like $50 hoodies and $30 hats and stuff like that.
Yeah, because for a while it was all concentrated. It was all like all Metalocalypse shit. And then all Aqua Teen stuff.
And then it was like one Super Jail t-shirt.
Yeah, and then all Venture Brothers shit. And then it was never just like, 4 or 5 items here, 4 or 5 items here, 4 or 5 items here. And, it seems like people are buying more Cartoon Network stuff now. I mean, obviously with Adventure, especially with Adventure Time. So much Adventure Time stuff you can buy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw they have a Christmas figurine pack now for like $15 at Toys R Us. It's ridiculous.
Jake Dog and Finn the Human. Like right now, I'm looking at an Adventure Time fleece hat on Amazon for like $20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
I got mine for free.
Yeah, I didn't want to hang out. You can even buy a backpack, dude. And there's like I'm a Lady Rainicorn girl though, so I got a Lady Rainicorn keychain. I found this like weird looking fleece that you can wear as like a stole. Mm-hmm. But it's Lady Rainicorn.
That's pretty cool.
Adult Swim, get on it. When I come to Comic-Con this year, please don't upset me.
You know what Cartoon Network did that really made me upset? They greenlit Neon Gnome and called it, I forget what they called it.
Problem Solvers.
Problem Solvers, but they only had like 5 episodes.
Problem Solvers.
And they didn't play it at a very good time of day. And it was so good.
I love cartoons.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, what would we have to do? We'd have to sit around in our boring jobs and lives. Having said that, yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can really say about the year in review. I thought it was kind of a train wreck, but hey, Swimcasts usually are. So we should probably start the second half of this, and we're going to do so. We're going to leave you now, and then you can come back and listen to the award show. So If you have any emails, thoughts, questions, etc., you can email us from cast@aquatincentral.com, and we'll be back. Good night now.
aquatincentral.com.
This has been an Adult Swim Central production.